Okay, so it's been a pretty interesting week in the world of Linux, specifically with Valve. Valve released 3 new pieces of hardware, but the main one that we're interested in is the Steambox. Now that basically is their SteamOS, which is all over the place on Steam Decks and stuff like that, is now going onto a desktop device, which is fantastic, which means that you're going to get Linux in people's homes finally. PlayStation was close with their FreeBSD in the PlayStation 5 and PlayStations, but this is the real deal. This will basically be an Arch installation with their Steam thing over the top. So that's great. So that means you will have like a game machine, and they'll let you log out like you can on a normal Steam setup, and you'll be able to go into the desktop and you'll have Linux. So that's great. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. I hope they don't price it too badly. And looking at the specs, it's not super powerful, but it's enough. And because Linux is so optimized that, you know, you're going to get great performance, this is a dangerous turning point for people like Microsoft and Sony, because obviously, you know, we've all got lots of gamers have got lots of games on different platforms. We're not all just committed to one. And then this opens up your entire Steam library for the, you know, for the TV. And one of the big things here is we can build Steam boxes ourselves, sort of, with Bazi and stuff like that. But this will be like an out-of-the-box installation, so that'll be great. Anyway, until that arrives, I mean, you know, we can still try and build our own Steam machines for the home, or we can try and optimize the performance of using Steam on Linux. So obviously I'm on Omarchy, and what I've been working on, last week I did a script that sort of launches you into GameScope. I've gone a bit further this time. A lot of people's comments were saying, oh, you should use CatChyOS for games. So what I've done, I've managed to shoehorn into a loading, like a script, a loader, everything. So you can switch from the Arch standard kernel that comes with Omarchy to the CATCHY BORE kernel, which is borrowed something resources. Basically, it prioritizes tasking, so it makes it more responsive. So this little app will allow you to switch between the kernels, and then on the top of that, with launching GameScope quickly, it will allow you to do scaling. It will allow you to do all sorts of stuff and quickly get into Steam. So, you know, you could launch the game at 1080 and it will upscale in GameScope to 4K. I haven't managed to build in the FSR because every time I tried to do FSR with it, my screensaver's kicked in. Sorry about that. Every time I tried to do FSR, it crashed. But there's plenty. We'll go through them. I've written a whole thing on the bottom. Plenty of extra bits in there that you'll see that it does to like optimize performance. Now, I actually don't think you'll see huge performance gains. I mean, you try on different games, see what you get. But what happens is it just gets smoother. It gets more responsive. And you see the frame graph on Mango Hut. It's like flat lines. So, okay, so what we'll do, I'll just go through, I'll run 2 games on standard Steam, and we can just have a look at it and then look at the results, and I'll jot them down, and then we'll install the program, and then we'll run those games again, and we'll run them in standard Steam, not GameScope, and then we'll run them in GameScope. I mean, it's probably going to fail in GameScope and be slower, but I mean, I can't think of any other optimizations you can do. So this literally changes the kernel to CATCHY's kernel, and it's really simple. You can switch back, it's no stress. Gives you GameScope, does everything. So it's literally as much as I could shoehorn in optimization in a simple script for playing games on Omarchy. Anyway, there's the preamble done. So as usual, let's dive in. Okay, so here I'm in standard desktop Steam, and we're going to do, I think, Tomb Raider first of all. We sort of launch that. And I've got it on a games drive, so I have to do this validation thing every time it launches, so bear with me. I've got my pen and paper ready to do my final scores on this. So this is not in GameScope, just standard thing, and it's on the default Linux kernel that comes with, let me play it now. Default Linux kernel that comes with Omarchy. Bit of a boot up time here. Yeah, I mean, here we go. I'm going to skip that. It's interesting. The Steambox thing has really intrigued me because it's going to put a lot of games, you know, people have obviously got Steam libraries. It's going to put a lot of games in living rooms. I mean, I've built Steam boxes myself. There's a Basite box I did, and it's great. But if you've got like a fully set up GameScope Steam system, right, let's do the settings now. What have I got on the options? I'm going to go for 1440, leave everything like that. Graphics, ultra, everything. Okay. And then play. So yeah, I mean, having the system in the house is amazing like that. And it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, the other products they brought up was a new controller. That would just be a great controller in its own right to be able to hook up to any system. But then basically, let's just go to options. Let's go to graphics and display. And we've got this set to 1440p. I've got DLSS off. Everything's off. I'm just going to leave it like that. Custom graphics. Ultra. Everything's on ultra. And then I'm going to run the benchmark. Okay. So let's just let that go. It's interesting. It's not gone full screen. If you see the bottom, it's actually... I mean, this is one of the things with running it on Omarchy. I've noticed if you don't run it in GameScope, you do get some really weird little graphic anomalies. The other one with this is you need to force compatibility on some of these games. I've made a video about this before. It's like you go in there, you think Steam's set up, you click and it says Proton Experimental. You click the button and it doesn't play. So what you have to do is go into the game's properties itself, actually force it to use the compatibility, and then it just runs normally. Here we go. So, I mean, this is on ultra settings. I've got this on 43, and there's a visual glitch on the bottom of the screen. So yeah, but no, the Steam thing. Sorry, I was talking about that. They've also done a headset, which is much better of a 3D headset. My son's got the Oculus Rift, the latest one. That's pretty good. So I'm really interested to see what they do with the Steam headset. I mean, the only game I've ever played in VR, because I love Half-Life, was Alex, and that was just phenomenal. I mean, I'm sure there's some other great technology out there, other great games that play out there, but I mean, that's the only one I've ever tried. What are we doing now? Here we go. 40. It's interesting. When I switch to GameScope, I don't know if you can do the ray tracing, but we'll do this before and after with this outside of GameScope, but we'll switch to kernels over so you can see the effect. I mean, people keep going, you should get the CATCHY kernel. It's really good for games. Well, let's see. Yeah, 37, 38. I mean, really, you want to target 60. It's obviously the target for everything. I don't know why 60 is American, 50 over in the UK, I think, because we're 25p, so we're more adjusted to 25 frames per second as opposed to 2997, which is UK TV, US TV. Here we are. Looks pretty good, but it's just on the edge. The moment it comes off into the town, there's more detail. I mean, there's a lot of detail there, but there'll be more. Does it start to go? And there's always one of the houses on the right hand side, something pops. One of the white houses, there's something that flickers and pops on one of them. No, it's not done it. That's because I've got DLSS switched off. There it goes. That front of that white house. Yeah, you can see some lines in the graphics as well. I mean, it's an old game now. This scene's always intrigued me. I mean, okay, they're buying stuff, but there's like some guy in this shot here. Look, he's gutting a deer. And what's the guy on the right doing? And then there's a small boy just watching this deer being hacked to shreds. It's a bit inappropriate. And then this dude here on the right, in the thong, what's he doing? What is he talking about? That woman. There's a whole backstory in this, I'm sure. And I don't know what's going on. Anyway, what are those two doing? They're having a chat, having a row. Okay, here we go. And our final scores are 42 frames per second. 42, going to mark that down. 42. Okay, let's come out of that. Escape and close. escape, quit game, yeah. Okay, so now back to library, home. I want to do Cyberpunk. So I'm going to leave these settings as it is. The good thing about Steam is it keeps the settings ready to go. So when I switch over the Vulkan shaders, skip. When I switch over the kernels, the settings will stay the same and I won't touch anything. But when we flip it to GameScope with the GameScope mode, which I'll show you after I've done the kernel change, then basically that will be a bit different. It doesn't render quite the same. It's different, but I like the experience of GameScope. It's much better, and it's what you're going to get in the house with Steam, isn't it? Come on, you can do it. So yeah, I mean, I was looking at 2 games that would give me, apparently would test the system, and Cyberpunk 2027 comes up, 2077, and obviously Tomb Raider comes up a lot because Tomb Raider is really interesting. It's cross-platform. If you try and play Tomb Raider on a Mac, which you can, it's just atrocious. Yeah, I mean, Mac's sort of getting left behind now, aren't they, with all this? It's like they're trying their hardest to put stuff. Here we go, look. They're trying their hardest to go with games on Macs, but they're just not cutting it. And I mean, they're trying all these different things to get developers to switch over and do games on Macs, but it's just not happening. Linux has left the door open for everybody. So if you're a games publisher, you'd obviously make it Proton compatible, wouldn't you? So the Linux guys get all the, will get all the game from Mac. It's still not really there for games. I mean, I've sort of left my Mac behind. I only use it now. Every now and again, I switch completely to Omarchy. It's just like a whole new thing. Right, okay, so graphics on this, we'll just go with that setup. I've got no frame gen on. I've got ultra lighting. Everything's on high. And video is set to 256 by 0.4p. Let's run the benchmark. And then we'll install the app, change the kernel. I've only spent about 2 hours playing this. I've benchmarked it so many times, but it's like the ultimate benchmark game, but I haven't actually played it that much. Been spending way too much time on Borderlands 4. I don't know why. I've always liked the Borderlands ones. Now, the frame counter comes up, we've got 47 frames per second. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I mean, the script is the script. The changing of the kernel you don't need to do. You can skip that on the installation process if you want to and stick with your standard kernel. And then just go with the optimizations. And I mean, I'll show you how it works. I mean, it's the same as the same as the previous one, but it's been enhanced a lot in the past week or so when I've been fiddling with it. Here we go, out the door. $49, looks like it'll be about 51 something, I don't know. It's going to be, no, it's going to be at 47. 47. The judder there went to 36. What do we got? Okay, so I'm going to write that down. 48.84. Okay, and then we're going to exit to my menu. Confirm. Come on, you can do it. Continue. Quick game. Okay, so there's our 2 benchmarks done. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to shut down Steam. Steam, exit. Finishing Cloud Sync. Error, Cyberpunk. Okay, so now I'm going to go file browser, and I've got my completed script in here. Games Launcher Final, copy, which I'll post in a link. Obviously, you guys can download it. Put it in the downloads folder, paste, open up a console. Now, you may not have console installed. I always install console, I just like it. So now let's just install this. Now, if OBS dies, bear with me, because it's got to install a kernel. So once this finishes, I'll stop the video, we'll reboot and come back, and I'll take a photo of what happens, because basically you'll get a kernel selection on the when it reboots. So anyway, let's do chmod plus X. Put the game over there. Run it, and now you'll see this kernel selection element come up at the beginning. Okay, install CATCHY BORE kernel. Yep, let's do that. Password. It's my demo machine. Okay, now it's going to pull down the kernel. And put it on the system. See, when we go back to the, in a minute, when we launch the games launcher, you'll see, I mean, at the end of this, actually, I'll go through it. Hopefully mine's not going to cover up. I'll switch the windows over so you can see it. But there's a load of stuff this does. Hopefully optimizes your games. But I mean, I think there's like 1 or 2 frames and stuff like that. People get really excited over it all. But is it worth it? You don't need to do the CATCHY kernel. You can leave it, just skip it, do the rest of the game's optimizations, and you'll stay on the vanilla Arch kernel. I did try this with the Zen kernel, didn't work very well. Didn't do anything, but everybody kept going, it's the CATCHY BORE kernel, it's the one to use for gaming and everything like that. So give it a minute. Hopefully my OBS is still running. Here we go. Takes a while to get in there. Enter to, right, so that's the kernels installed. So if you can see this, hopefully I'm not covering it, press enter. Now it's going to load up all the rest of the bits for, okay, that's all in there. So basically that's now installed everything and the games launcher. So let me just see somewhere. Hopefully I've installed the right version. The version, I've written so many versions of this. Anyway, let's come out of this. So that's in, and that's in. But we need to reboot to take advantage of the kernel. So let me come back to this. We'll reboot, and I'll start recording again. Okay, so we're back. So I've rebooted, and I've selected. I'm going to flash this up on the screen. I had to take a photograph of it on my phone, but you select the CATCHY BORE kernel. So anyway, so let's get Steam fired up. Steam. Now we're just going to test the kernel out. The next thing we're going to do is go to use my GameScope optimization and the kernel as well, and then we'll rerun the same tests. So the first one logging in is Tomb Raider. Let's see if we get any, and I haven't done anything to the system. So literally, home. There's Tomb Raider. Let's fire that up. Play. And see if we get any kind of improvement whatsoever. And this is a fresh start. Both systems had a fresh start. So it's literally, don't want the fog shaders, skip. You know, I think you're supposed to run things 3 times, aren't you? But I mean, if you do it from cold boot, I mean, you don't normally run a game 3 times, do you? You sort of start it. You log in and you start it. So I don't know if that's a valid process with games. You know, maybe, I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, let's get this going. Now, all my settings should be the same as before play. Still got the visual glitch at the bottom of the screen here. If you can see on OBS, there's like the bottom of the screen's not gone full size. This is why GameScope is great, because literally it's a micro compositor that takes over and everything's in it. I mean, you'll be seeing a lot of it when you get your Steam machine for the living room. Okay, options. Display and graphics, nothing should have changed. All the same. Everything's the same. Custom. And what was our score? Our score was 42. Let's just see if everybody who's been going, you need to use CatCHYOS, is telling the truth. Or they're just like, if it's 1 frame difference. It's up to you whether you use it. I mean, apparently though, and I may leave it on here, is it's good for things like DaVinci Resolve. And I work on this machine, but not this one. This is like my demo rig. It's the same machine, but it's just a different drive. But I work on DaVinci Resolve every day. So if I can get 1 or 2 more frames of speed out of that thing, I'll take it. So I'm going to do some more testing with this and see what we get. Okay. See the frames clipped off at the top there. 45. Now the average was 42. So yeah, I mean, just talk about CatChyOS for a second. CatChyOS is brilliant, right? And it's really well done. It's really highly optimized, but it's not for the common man. It's not for people like me. I mean, I love Linux. You know, you see all my videos, I love it. Omarchy was a turning point for me because it's accessible. I don't need to mess around to get working. I can work on it, which is the key thing. I mean, I've looked at all the different distributions. There's only one other distribution that comes close to being as good as Omarchy is for me, and that's the new Pop OS with the Cosmic Desktop. That's really cool. But this sort of, I don't know, there's something about this that really, really got me. It's the easy way you can install packages. It's the TUIs. It's the way that it looks, and so, I mean, my Mac is dust. And I mean, I only opened a Windows machine purely for, I think I have to set my son's homework up or something on it. That's the only time I look at Windows now. Been interested to see if this is lower, that's going to be quite funny. I mean, it's optional in the installer process. The key part of this is the GameScope part. The kernel thing came afterwards. It was like, there was a lot of chatter about it, and I thought, okay, we'll just include it. But you don't need to have it. You can skip that bit by just pressing no when you install the games mode thing. And it'll literally, you could just bypass it. And to get rid of it, if you run the script again, it will ask you if you want to deinstall it. So it'll take off the kernel, but it's still there. As you see that little picture that I threw up, you can select the old kernel or the new kernel. They'll both update, but the oddity is when you update Omarchy with the CATCHY kernel, it keeps telling you that your kernel's changed. Well, you know that, but it'll do the updates and it'll update the kernel, but it tells you need to reboot, but you don't. Well, unless you've updated the kernel. Anyway, sounds a bit complicated. You'll see what I mean, but it's there, but you can select either one, which is nice on that loader at the beginning. Limini or whatever it's called. Okay. Back to that scene. Right. As I said on the previous one, there's something going on here, isn't there? What are they talking about? What's the backstory? What's the backstory? I'm sure that child had a top on last time. I'm sure that child, I'm losing my plot. I'm absolutely sure that kid had a jacket on. Anyway, okay. Maybe a visual, I'm sure it's like a top. Or maybe I've seen a different version of the, that's really weird. Well, when we run it through GameScope, keep an eye for that. What have we got? 46. Okay. 46. That's a win. So we've got 4 frames more. Excellent. All right, let's come out of that and let's try quit. And now let's do, that's okay. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. That's 4 frames, isn't it? But I mean, library, home. Let's try, here we are. Let's do Cyberpunk. So, yeah, okay. I was expecting that to fail. Skip that. I was expecting that not to work, but that is actually, if you need 4 more frames, that's where you'll find them. But that, I mean, that's good. That's good. That's an actual small improvement. Let's see what Cyberpunk does now. Play. Yeah, I think The Witcher 4 is built in the same, going to be bought in the same engine. Hopefully they'll build in some kind of benchmark for Witcher 4 because that'd be quite good. Because that this is like become the standard benchmark. The Doom one's interesting. The Doom has a benchmark. Doom Dark Ages is a benchmark, but for some reason in GameScope it locks to 30 and it won't show me the right frame rates. So this is the one I choose every single time. Space breaching. Okay, settings, graphics, all the same as before. Video 1440p, run benchmark. Confirm. And we had a score of 48.84 when this ran through on the standard Linux kernel that comes with CATCHY. Not CATCHY, comes with Omarchy. Omarchy CATCHY. Or as many commentators have called it, Omarchy. But yeah. Here we go. We're off. 48. Interesting. It's tricky. It's so close. It's such a small amount, but I suppose maybe the lower the hardware, I don't know, maybe the jump gets bigger depending on the hardware. I mean, this is a Ryzen 9. It's got 16 cores, 32 threads, and it's a 5060 Ti, as you can see. So I'll be interested to see if this, you know, I don't know where the gap comes. It must be all hardware dependent. I mean, I've got an Intel with a 9060 XT down there. I'm going to sort of run similar benchmarks on that in a different video, because I think the performance of Omarchy with AMD is slightly different. And again, I mean, that AMD chip, I don't know how, not the Intel chip, I don't know how close it is to this setup. But we'll do that. That's another video. Going to run the same thing on it. Here we go. What are we getting for? 48.84 is the score that we're looking to beat here. 48.93. So we've got an increment on there of, what's that? 93 minus 84. I cannot do the maths that quick, but that's infinitesimal. All right. Okay. Better response on Tomb Raider, but there's an improvement. There is an improvement. Is it worth it? Come on, push to close. Quick game. Let's shut down Steam. Exit. Okay, then back over here. Back to me. Okay, so that's it. Is it worth the effort? I mean, if you do need some extra frames, possibly. I don't know. A lot of people rave on about it. I mean, there's just 2 games you've tested there. Got a tiny improvement on Cyberpunk 2077, 5 frames per second improvement on Tomb Raider, which is interesting. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what I didn't write the script to change the kernel. I wrote the script to give you a really cool games launcher and a way to sort of optimize it without having to do the kernel. So let's see, what we're going to do now is run both of those tests again, and I think they'll run differently because of inside the GameScope world. There's certain things. Tomb Raider will ask me for different things. I think I can't get the same settings, but I'll try and do it as close as possible. Okay, so if you watch the previous video I made about this, when I made the GameScope launcher, it was all about how long it took to get into Steam. So we've done the kernel bit. Now I'll show you the GameScope element, and we'll run those 2 games again. So to get into the launcher, you press Super Shift S, and it brings up this, which allows you to set your gaming resolution. Because obviously in GameScope you can scale. So if you do it 1920 by 1080, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. You can upscale. So it renders at 1080p and upscales at 1440. You can do 1440 and an output of 1440. You could do 8. So I think it makes sense. So what you need to do is select it. You only need to do this process once because you can just bash through it the next time. I'll show you that. Click OK. And then it asks if you want Mango HUD over the top as well. It's great. So when I click that, there is a load of other optimizations it does. And it should do this. And it should fire up GameScope, he says. Is it going to do it? There we are. So we're into GameScope, which is like Valve's microcompositor. So bear with me. What we'll do is we'll run both those benchmarks again now in game smoke mode. Now, this is why I think, so first time I'm in it. Come on. Tap, price, tap. Here we are. So let's run them again. Now, I think it won't allow me to run them quite the same, but let's see. I think Tomb Raider will do something different, but we'll try. Obviously, like you're fully immersed in no visual artifacts. It's literally like being on a Steam Deck. Or I'll be interested to see how they modify the OS for when it goes onto a desktop. Let's see what this does now. This may crash out really badly. Synchronizing cloud. Okay. Don't need the voltage shaders. Right. I think this doesn't allow me to do. This is why I switched off DLSS. I think there's certain things it doesn't allow you to do. Well, it's going for it. It used to boot up with that weird window at the beginning. But maybe because I set it in normal Steam, it's just going to stick to the same. So, okay, let's have a look at the options. And display graphics. Here we are. Oh no, it's got everything. Everything stayed the same. Great. Everything's the same. So let's run the benchmark in GameScope. See, this will be slower probably. To all that effort. So what did we have? We had 42, which was like vanilla Steam. 46 with the CATCHY kernel. So for the win, we'd like 47 or 48 for the GameScope version, but I don't know what we're going to get. And I picked mine to render natively at 1440 composite, because what happened is if you don't pick the right size, you can't change it later because it sort of like becomes a virtual screen. So if you accidentally change 1080 at the beginning, the 1080 will be missing in the game settings because the game believes the screen's the size that you've set it. It's trying to load up here. Come on, you can do it. Right, so we go. What do we got? So the number to beat is 46. That means that all of these extras that I've done, added on, have actually increased performance. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, there's another one of these. What's going on in this scene? What's going on? There's a drunk man at the back there. There's children's got fire. What's happening? What? That looks like he's got a stick of dynamite, that kid. What are they doing? Just a great party there, doesn't it, eh? No, it's just the jungle one. This is the one that normally kills it because of the foliage. Foliage? It's not even a word. Here we go. There she is. 42. I think this is going to be lower. I think after all that work to get that launcher thing, it's going to end up being just switch the kernel. But I mean, it's a quick way to launch it. If you can live with an extra frame or less frame, I like it because I just push Super Shift out, I'm into Steam. And then to get out of this, you press Super Shift R, shuts the whole thing down really quickly. Because I mean, Omarchy is all about keyboard shortcuts, isn't it? And it's just nice to be able to do things like that, just launch games really quick, as opposed to, what do we got now? We've got the last scene, we've got the 85, 86. I hate doing this live. I should have tested it, shouldn't I, beforehand? Otherwise I'm going to have to kill the recording and fiddle and work out how to do this. But I'm hoping this will be the same. I hope it will be more or the same. The White House front going to pop? No? Yeah, there it goes. Okay, here we go. Oh, a bit of a stutter there. Not sure what that's about. Yeah, I'm sure there's a version of that child has a jacket on and he doesn't have anything on his shoulders. It's messing with my head, this. Okay, what have we got? What have we got? Moment of truth. Come on, 47. Yes, 49. Okay, there we go. There we go. 49 frames per second. Brilliant. All right, let's come out of that. So that's an increase of a couple of frames. There's a couple of frames for you. Quick game, yes. Now let's do the one that didn't move. Let's come out of that. Escape. Let's do Cyberpunk. That's okay. That's not bad. We started on 42 and we've now got it to 49 frames per second. Someone's going to like completely floor my review method here, aren't they, of how I've done this? But I don't know. Skip bulk and shaders. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, everything you can potentially add to this, I've added to optimize it for gaming. Is this going to crash on me? Don't know. This could be crashing. Is this going to crash? Give it a second. Processing bulk and shaders. This is, I've had a lot of problems with things like this. Honest, going for it, because I've got all the games on an external games drive. So when you plug it in between systems, it sort of re-downloads the shaders and stuff like that. That's a better screen, isn't it? Play. So it doesn't like it. I tried to move that games drive onto a machine with an AMD card, and none of the games were playing because the shaders are all geared up for NVIDIA. So, I had to wipe them. But anyway, I'm going to do an AMD. I look at AMD and in Omarchy over the weekend, so I'll post that as well. So what we're looking for here, we're looking to beat 48.97 is the target we're trying to get around here. And so obviously I'll leave the settings exactly the same. Okay, let's get in there. Settings, everything's the same. Graphics, all the same. Video, and run benchmark. Let's see what we get from this. So yeah, so when you launch GameScope, there's loads of flags you can attach to it. So it's like this has got real-time threading, immediate flipping, and then this is also loading in games mode into the system, which is a thing by Feral or something, which is another scheduler. So I've layered everything that you can get. So I've got the fastest kernel we can get on there. I've got games mode. We're in GameScope. I mean, there's no more we can do here. So if this isn't the most heavily optimized way to launch a game in skid steam on Linux, I don't know. I'm sure there's other people who've got more tweaks to this, but this is every single thing I could find to give you the best games launcher. Now, is this one going to let me down? All I need is one frame from Cyberpunk. I need one frame improvement. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. 48.97. 48.97. Oh, this is going to be the same. I'm sure this is not. This is the tough one, isn't it? This is the tough one. I can see him 44s up there. It's not liking it. But the frame graph's flat as a pancake. 48 point. Oh, slightly less. So there you go. 48.1. It's like literally no improvement with Cyberpunk, but there is an improvement on Tomb Raider. Exit to my menu. Confirm. Interesting. So obviously that optimizations, they work on certain games. They'll work better depending. Cyberpunk, it's not done anything. I mean, literally we've got a difference of half a frame backwards and forwards. But I don't know. This is a particular resolution with a particular setting. So I don't know how that plays out if you fiddle around with your settings. So to finally come out of this mode, you go Super Shift R, and that shuts down Steam. So just to show you this last bit again, if I reload, so if you press Super Shift S to launch it, it comes up with this. Now, all it'll do is remember your previous settings, remembers what you've done. Don't want to do it, you just press enter and you're in. So I've made it so it remembers the settings, so you don't have to keep, doing your settings each time. It will just sort of relaunch the game. There it is. So that's super simple. Because obviously you won't be keep changing. It depends if you need to render at 1080 and go up. Anyway, so there we go, and then super R to come out of that, and we're done. So let's go back to me and switch scenes. So there you go. I hope that was useful. That was a bit of a journey doing that, making that, but it was interesting to understand. And there's a lot of people talking about different optimized kernels and stuff like that. And I fell down that rabbit hole the first time I had a go at this. I installed the Zen kernel on here, and that actually made it slower. So I thought, okay, this is not right, but everybody kept going on to CATCHY, so I put it on there. I mean, if you're like a hardcore Linuxy gamer type person, then CATCHY is one for you. If you're like me, I mean, I'm not a hardcore Linux person, to tell you the truth. I mean, I've been Windows, then Mac for 20 years. I just needed to get out of that environment into something else. And when I saw CATCHY, I went through and I made I filmed it all the different Linux distributions, but none of them sat right for me. And then Omarchy came along, and it was like, oh my God, that's it. So it was like that moment where it's like, that fits. So now I'm just spending my time optimizing my new world. It's been a bit of a revelation as well, because with Windows, you just can't do anything. With Mac, it's all app packages and stuff. But with this, you just write a script, and you've got AI on the desktop. I'll do a video about coding, command line AI coding. If you can think of it now, something you want to do, you can use the AI and you can just make it. I mean, I cannot think of a world where I could do that for Mac. I've tried that before. I have written some programs for Mac, some scripts, Apple scripts. It's just painful though. But doing it on here, it's like super simple. And it's like, I don't have that, but then, I can make it. I mean, so now I want to speed my games up. I've just sat there and written that. I'm no coder. Anyway, I hope that's useful. It's been interesting developing that. So my system's all good to go now. I've got the super duper kernel on it. I've got my games launcher, and that's it. So I mean, it'd be interesting to hear comments of if you can do different benchmarks and speeds, and if it does improve your speed, put them in the comments below. That'll be really interesting to find out if that works, actually accomplished anything. The script, you should be able to download it, have a look through it. You can change it. You can try and add the FSR flags, things like that in there. Please feel free to do what you want with that. I mean, if you can improve it, let me know. That would be great. Anyway, I hope that's useful to you. As usual, thanks for watching.